Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Welcome to today's special edition of the Full 100. Today's edition is a conversation with a good friend of mine who's been stuck out in the Gambia for well over coming up to 3 months now. He was stuck out there with his father. His father was stuck for 2 months, nearly lost his life, needed blood transfusion. And now my good friend Remel stuck out there on his own. His story is a very pressing one, and his family members have set up a GoFundMe. So please take a look at this video and listen to my conversations with Lloyd. Listen, firstly, let me just say, this is the first time you've appeared on the Full 100. I really am sorry that you're appearing under these really sad circumstances. I just want to tell my viewers how we know each other. Obviously, I go a long way back with your younger brother, Jason. I go back a good 20, 25 years with him. But you and I met last year.
Yeah, that's right.
You and your beautiful wife are doing great stuff in Africa. You and your beautiful wife are doing a lot of stuff for the Black community. We're going to get to that. You're going to tell the people who you are. However, what's happened, the reason you're on the show, obviously, today is because you told me you were going away for 3 weeks. It was happy times. It was great times. You was looking forward to it. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. I
remember when you was flying out and it was all great. And then I remember 3 or so weeks after you left, you started to contact me and started to tell me basically the nightmare you've been going through. So I'm going to step back now. The guys know what it is. I want you to introduce yourself, please, Remel, and we're going to go into why you're on this channel, sadly.
Yeah, okay. Well, my name is Lloyd Miller, but I go by the name as Remel. It's like a nickname. And I'm part of a company called Universal Tree also. When I first came over to the Gambia, it was basically because of my father. My father was he was in and out of hospital basically. We went and saw the nurse, and the nurse said that she thought it'd be do some good for him to be in a the doctor said that she thought it'd be some good for him to be in a better environment. And we was unable to visit him as much as we wanted to because of the restrictions.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so he was in a house by himself for months. We passed by, but we wouldn't stay long because obviously of the situation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basically, due to that circumstances, we went away. It was, to be honest with you, the way he did it is he asked me to go away with him. I told him at the time that I can't go away right now, Dad, because I'm not financially, I've got things I'm investing and doing and stuff like that, so it wouldn't be right for me. And then what he did is he went and bought the ticket. He surprised me basically. He went and bought a ticket and then told me, son, I really want you to do this journey with me. I'm not sure how many years I've got left in my life, and it'll be a bonding thing. So it'd be good for me and him to bond together.
Yeah. So how long did you guys book? How long was I know how long, but I want you to tell the audience. How long was the original trip booked for?
Well, we originally booked from the 14th of December was our flight date, and it was until the 4th of January. So it was
approximately
3 weeks.
So 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you took off on that same day, the 14th of December.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And today is now the 7th of March.
Yes, that's right.
Where are you, Remel?
I'm in Gambia.
You're still stuck. That's the shocking part of this story. So let's go to how it all began. So basically, when you arrived, holiday was fine. You did all the bits that you needed to do. However, I'm aware because you called me while you were away was when the UK locked down. Correct?
Yeah. So when we went, basically, I think on the 2nd of December, that was actually my birthday. There was no lockdown. All the lockdown was basically over. So we was allowed to travel. You know what I mean? So I didn't think there was any problem, to be honest with you. After a week and a half of being here, I saw something on the news saying that London's going to be locked down. It's going to be locked down. They're going to go into, I think it's a tier 5 or 4 or something.
Tier 5 or tier 4 or something like that.
Yeah. So then I saw it, but then when I checked with my tickets and stuff like that, we were still scheduled to leave. There was no change or anything. So I didn't think it'd be a problem. It was only on what happened I checked on the 31st of December, New Year's Eve. I checked again. And it said that basically, it said that we were scheduled to leave in 3 days' time. Just make sure you're there 3 hours before your flight, you know. So yeah, so everything was cool. The next day now, on the 1st of January now, there was a major internet. All the systems was down and stuff like that. So what happened was that I spoke to my partner, and she said to me that basically that that they cancelled the flight. So I thought she was joking, you know, because sometimes we run little jokes with each other, you know. So I thought she was messing around and all that, you know, saying the flight was cancelled. But she was serious. But I couldn't see the internet because I wasn't able to
because the internet was down where you were.
Yeah, because the internet was down where I was. So then the next day now, I saw that she took a screenshot and sent it to me. And at first I thought, okay, and it said it's cancelled, you know, there's a next flight will be available a week later. So I thought, all right, then cool, you know, I thought, okay, we get an extra week. And then what happened was then again, the flight was after the time to come to the week, I thought we were supposed to leave on a Sunday. And then by the Friday, they said the flight was cancelled again. I thought, what? They said that basically because of the lockdown in England, you know, there's no flights going into London or into the UK. You know, there's no flights at all going into so they said that we can travel, but if we travel down there, we travel at our own risk because we might go down to the UK and then we won't be able to leave.
What do they mean by you won't be able to leave the UK?
Because what they're saying is that if we made it into Europe, that then, you know, there's still going to be restrictions there, so there'll be no flights available.
From Europe to London?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So when they said that now, I thought, you know what, it's better to stay in a warm environment than to travel to a cold environment and be stuck there.
So let's fast forward now to after the 11th now. We're on the 11th of January now. It's been cancelled for the first time now. Well, the second time, because it got cancelled the 4th, then it got cancelled the 11th. How many more cancellations happened between then and say the next month?
Two more. You know, and I was worried because obviously, as I said, my dad is 76 years old, and you know, and then you know, there's gas leaking in the place and stuff like that. We have to keep calling them to find out what's going on. You know, why is the gas leaking? Did the person attach it properly and stuff like that? They will come and fiddle around with it, and then you know, it was crazy, and that was scary for me because there's times when I didn't know if my father was going to wake up or anything because
of course,
you know, he was, you know, opening the windows and stuff, but at the same time as well, you know, you didn't want to open them too much because people will steal your stuff. Do you know what I mean?
People can come in on you at night and all sorts.
So yeah, the time I came back and my window was open, so I know someone tried to tamper with the window to get in. You know.
Before I get into your dad, because I know what happened, your dad got ill and you had to go as far as doing blood, giving your dad some blood. Before we get into that, I want to ask you, I want to go into what the British Embassy and the British officials.
Okay, yeah. So what happened
I want to talk about that for the next couple of minutes and just give the viewers when you approach the British establishment or the British representatives over there, your embassy, the representatives and the people who work for the British Embassy, what they did for you, what they didn't do for you, and how it all panned out with them.
Okay, yeah. So basically, after the second time of the flight getting cancelled, now, what happened was that I decided that, you know, I'm going to go to the British Embassy to find out what was going on. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, we watch the films and all that, and you know, there's a problem and all that. Usually go to the British Embassy and they will help the situation. Do you know what I mean? That's what I see when I see films and stuff like that. You know, so I went to the British Embassy. We first went there now, it was closed. You know, they said that it was closed because of, it was closed basically. The first time I said it was closed. And then, can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. I can hear some background noise, but don't worry too much. Listen, at the end of the day, you're not at home. You're in a terrible situation right now. You're trying to get away from home. Sorry, you're trying to get away from there. I'm sure the audience are fine with the background noise, but we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. So then what happened? I went to the British Embassy or the High Commission, whatever you want to call it, and I went there and it was closed. So what they told me is to come. They told me to come back on a Monday. So anyway, I went back there on a Monday now, and there was still no one there. So I asked, "What's going on? You told me to come down on a Monday." I spoke to the security. I said, "You told me to come down on a Monday. I'm here." And now you're telling me there's no one there. So they said that they're quarantined. So I said, what? They said there's quarantine because they're a British company and they're in London, they're under lockdown. They're doing the same thing here, which to me made no sense.
So hold on. What they're saying is because London and England is on lockdown over in the UK, oceans away, hours of flight away, and because they're a British embassy in another country, they also have to be on lockdown. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, which to me it made no sense.
That is ridiculous. I mean, unless what they're trying to say is they can't communicate back with their staff or their colleagues back home because they're on lockdown. But even on lockdown, people are working from home. We still communicate.
Yeah, so it was crazy. So that was going on basically, and then when that happened, now is I decided to phone them in England, innit? So I phoned them in England to find out what was going on, and they said to me basically that it's not really their problem. You know, the problem is that, you know, I explained to them that I travelled before the lockdown procedures took place. You know, so I didn't know what was going on, and when I travelled, it was okay to travel. So they said to me that, yeah, but then the dispute is between you and the airlines, because it's not down to us, you know, it's down to the airlines. They said that, you know, I need to speak to the airlines. The airlines what they need to do, they need to put us on a ticket, give us a ticket, basically. If they can't provide us the service to get home, they need to find a way of getting us home. And at this time now, they gave us a date of the 30th of March.
30th of March?
Yeah, and this time it was...
And this was, what month are we at this point? We're in January.
We're in January.
And they're telling you 30th of March.
Yeah, 30th of March is when they, you know, it's going to be the next flight. So then we started panicking now, you know, like, you know, what we're going to do. Because I saying that, you know, if I'm not working, then how am I going to pay my rent? You know, am I going to pay my rent? It's now it's started to become more of a nightmare.
Of course.
You know, because obviously I'm thinking, how am I going to pay my rent? You know, what am I going to do? How are we going to get money to survive? You know, so it was, yeah, because we still have to make sure that we was paying the landlord.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think you were abandoned by the British embassy?
Yeah, of course I was, because they never, there was no, you know, they just basically said that, and then that was it. They left off the phone. They didn't tell me there was no helpline. There was no, you know, we'll keep in contact you. There was nothing, you know. Do you think that they would have done you different if your skin color was different? Yeah, 100%. Because let me tell you what happened now. So then my cousin, basically Kelvin, he contacted Royal Monarch, and he contacted Royal Monarch to ask them what's going on. You know, what's going on? Why are we? And what they asked him is, he said that we're British citizens. So how comes, you know, you're not providing a service for us to get out of the country? And what they said to him is that they asked what color he was. So I'm thinking, you know, what is that got to do with, you know, what's that got to do with, you know, our color of our skin?
Who asked this?
It was Royal Air Monarch. They asked him that, you know, what color were they? And
the UK headquarters was asking that.
Yeah. To me, that was strange, and it was not even more frustrating, you know, because we didn't know what to do. My dad's medication started to run out because
I was just going to come to your dad to say, right. So tell the guys what then happened from here on in, because your dad obviously got sick and stuff.
Yeah. So what happened was that basically, when we started realizing that, you know, we're going to be here for longer than we knew we were going to be here for, basically, we were thinking that, you know, how are we going to get the medication? So I spoke to a nurse in England, and she told me that the British government have a duty of care, because obviously, you know, he's still a British citizen, and all they got to do is contact the pharmacy, and they can actually pay for his prescription, because it would actually be cheaper for them to pay for his prescription over here than it would be in the UK, you know. But when we was trying to contact them, it's like they were trying to stop us from speaking to the doctors direct. They were saying that, you know, well, if he's running out of medication and he's away, then that's not their problem, basically. He started taking his medication. He's supposed to take the medication twice a day. So he started cutting it down to once a day, which he's on medication. He's got medication for heart failure, for kidneys, for many different things, basically. But it's serious medication.
Serious stuff.
Yeah, he's taking more than 14 different medications, between 12 and 14 different medications, you know. So then that's the reason why in the beginning I was surprised that the doctor said it was okay for him to travel. Do you know what I mean? You know, so then basically after that now, he started becoming short of breath, because he's also got asthma pumps and stuff like that to help control his breathing and stuff. So then what happened was that he started, he's finding it hard to breathe by himself. So basically because of that now, he ended up in hospital, and ended up keeping him there for, 4 days. So then now what happened now? So we had that situation now. He's in hospital. You know, we didn't know what was going on. Everyone was a bit scared and worried because obviously we don't know. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. You know,
right.
You know, they're saying, and all they're talking about is how much it's going to cost, how much it's going to cost, how much it's going to cost. You know, rather than talking about the situation.
Tell us what happened with the blood transfusion. How your dad got pretty bad that he was hospitalized. How long was he in hospital for?
He was in hospital for 4 days. So then
And
after, when we went there,
you had to give him blood transfusion, right?
yeah. So what happened was that when he got admitted into hospital, they said they're going to keep him there for a few days, you know, because his hemoglobin was low. They said his hemoglobin was low, and even the way they dealt with it is, you know, was crazy because they said his hemoglobin was low. Obviously, I didn't know what they was talking about at the time, and then they said to me they wanted to speak to me. So I thought, why would you want to speak to me? You know, like if his hemoglobin was low, I don't understand what's going on. Then they called me to one corner and said to me that basically, you're going to have to give your dad a blood transfusion. So I was like, what are we talking about? You know, because the way they did it, it weren't like a thing of where they sat down in the office and spoke to me and explained the situation. They just pulled me to one side like I was their friend or something and just said to me that, you know, they're going to have to give my dad a blood transfusion and they're going to need me to do it. So then I took a deep breath, basically, and I said, I will do what I have to do, to keep my father alive, basically. You know,
wow, I can't even imagine at this point what you guys must be going through at that point, man.
Yeah, so it was crazy. So then so they said to me they took a test and then found that you know, one thing I'll say about over here though, when you get a test, it's almost like 30 minutes later you get the results. It's not waiting around for days or anything like that. You know, they done a test, and then, you know, they said that okay, I'm A positive, which is I'm the same as my father, and then so they said that, you know, they want to do the blood transfusion either later on today or the next day. So I said okay, you know, okay. Next day I came and I was almost psyched up to get it in and done, and then they told me no, you know, they're not going to do it no, they don't need me to do it anymore. They've you know, they've got another option. So then I said okay, you know, so I said what's the option? They said you know, they might have some blood, someone of his thingy, because over here it's hard to get certain blood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, what happened was that that night now, my dad phoned me and told me that they're starting a blood transfusion. So I said, what? So they said, and this is at 10 o'clock at night. So then he phoned me about half an hour later, telling me there's blood all over the floor, there's blood all over the curtains, there's blood everywhere. You know, something's gone wrong. You know, so obviously he's worried about what the hell's going on, you know, because there's blood all over the place and all that. And then so then I went down there first thing in the morning. They said there was a clot in the blood, which caused it to squirt everywhere and go everywhere and stuff like that. But you can imagine it must have been very dramatic for him because he's by himself.
Hell.
You know, and then it's all over the, you know, it was all over the curtains, all over the floor. You know, it was crazy. So anyway, then after that, now they told me that they still need me to give blood. So I was thinking, you know, after what I just heard, you know, yeah, it's a bit crazy. And I basically ended up giving my dad the blood transfusion.
And that saved his life. So then let's roll on to basically. I remember we were speaking as well. I spoke to you the day after all of that happened. When he, at some point after that blood transfusion, he basically got better. And then that was now in February, right?
Yeah. So then this is like, so now we're on 2 months now. You know, so we're now
2 months in after the holiday was really booked for 3 weeks. You're now 2 months into the holiday. They then come and they say to you and your dad, you can now travel. Yeah?
Yeah. So then what happened? We found out.
What then happens from there? They came and said, right, you're good to go. The UK's are gonna they've opened back the borders. You can now travel. What then happened next?
No, so what happened was within that time of things going on, basically, I put a thing on Facebook so people knew what was going on, and I had one of my friends, Ian, which contacted me. Ian's one of my white friends. He contacted me because he was concerned what was going on. So he said to me, you know, is there anything you could do to help? So I said at the time that we're trying to get hold of the MP because we've written the MPs a letter about a week ago, and we never heard anything back from him. So I said that I'm just trying to encourage people who wants to help. I'm just asking them, you know, he goes, oh, do you need any money? I said, right now, bruv, the only thing I need really is I need people to contact the MP to try and put pressure on them to help, because obviously we're in a situation. I've still got to pay my rent. I've still got to pay all these different things, and I'm stuck over here. I don't know when I'm coming back. So we need
you got a job. You got a job to go back to that you don't even know when you can go back to it.
Yeah, because the way my job is if you don't work, you don't get paid. So there's no, you know, we don't even have no even if you're sick, you don't get paid if you're not in. Do you know what I mean? So this is another reason why I started to panic more. You know, because obviously I didn't know when I'm coming back and stuff. So what Ian did is, I don't know what he did, but he contacted the MP straight away, and then he phoned me and told me they're going to phone me in 15 minutes, which they did. Which I was shocked, because obviously we've been trying to get hold of the MPs for ages. You know, so when they contacted me, they asked me what happened. I explained the situation to them, and they said they're going to try and help. You know, they're going to try and help now. And yeah, it's like Ian had the magic touch. I just want to say one more part. So when Ian managed to contact the papers, because remember I said to him about the situation, so he managed to contact the papers, spoke to the papers, and you know, they were interested in the story. And you know, so obviously I never spoke to them. Ian spoke to them, but they still published the story. You know, and you know, because they said that we thought that any form of media would help us right now. You know, understand?
Right.
So you know, so the paper told her, because I said to the paper at the time that, you know, how could you publish a story if you haven't spoken to me? You know, they said that between speaking to Ian and other people, that they've got enough information to publish a story. You know, so
I remember when you told me. I didn't like that at all, because if the story is about you being stuck there, they could have at least do a phone call to you, do a FaceTime conversation, and get your side of it before they go to press.
When I did see the story, it was like stuck in Africa, get me out of it, and I was furious with that, because obviously, to me, the situation's gonna have to do with Africa. You know, the situation is that it's gonna happen anywhere in the world. It's just the fact remains is that it's where I am. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting the right procedures to help you, then, you know, this could happen anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So I could be in America, the same thing's happening. But it's a situation of that, you know, I just wanted help to get me out of the situation that I was in.
Let's touch on, I want to quickly touch on what then happened from your flight, your initial original flight to get back. They knocked you back because of a COVID positive test. Your dad had a negative. He was able to fly back. So from there till where you are today, let's try and wrap it up, because I want to get everything that you're saying on the film so that everybody gets it. So we want to try and keep it as short, as quickly as possible, if possible.
We took the test, and then, you know, because you have to take the test 3 days before you could travel.
Right.
So we took the test basically on the Friday, and we're supposed to travel on the Sunday. And then what happened was that when we went to go and pick up the test results, because you have to go to you don't get an email or nothing like that. You have to go to a center. It's like an army kind of barracks basically. Okay. So we went there basically to get the test. Anyway, so what happened after that now was that my name never came up. So then they phoned me on my phone and said to me they want to talk to me. So I said, what do you mean want to talk to me? I'm outside here. So they took 2 hours to come. They came and got me and brought me inside. So I'm asking what's going on, because you're bringing me into the building now. There's a guard outside on a gun. You know, I want to know what's going on. It's like more of an army barracks. And then he just said to me that basically you've tested positive for COVID. So I said, what? I said, what do you mean? How can I test positive for COVID? I've got no symptoms. I've got no nothing. He goes to me, well, that's your result. You know, so, you know, that means you're not allowed to leave. You're under duress, basically. I said, what do you mean I'm under duress? I'm an English citizen. You can't keep me against my will. I can't just go back to the guest house, basically, and, you know, do the quarantine there. And then he said, no, you can't, you know, you know, basically, you've got two choices. He said, if you haven't got no money, you could stay in a place where there's about 50 people to a room. I said, what? I said, yep. So that means if you haven't got it, that means you will therefore get it. And if it's 50 people to a room, which are COVID patients, then obviously that means that, you know, you stand a more chance of getting it. And he goes, because that's the thing. So then he's saying, well, that's the opportunity, or you have to pay to go in a COVID hotel. So at this time now, we had hardly any money, because obviously we've been there now 2 months prior to the time, you know, we were supposed to be there for 3 weeks. So I started stressing now and all that. And I said, you can't keep me, you know, against my will. A guard's come over with your gun, and they said that, you know, you basically you got to do what they say, you know what I mean, blah, blah, blah. So I said, Dad, I looked at my dad and said, Dad, you know, what are we going to do? So my dad said that at this time now, you know, he's going to go back to England.
Because your dad, just to tell the guys, just to tell the audience, your dad tested negative and you tested positive. So your dad was then able to fly back. But you
Yes,
worked.
So he's saying he's going to fly back at that time. I said, Dad, you're going to leave me? He said, yeah, well, it doesn't make no sense both of us staying here because obviously we ain't got no money. So, so basically, I'm gonna have to go back to town and get some money, and that means I can send you some money just so you could stay in the place. Otherwise, what you gonna do? So at the time, I felt a bit hurt.
I can imagine, and I know as parents, you and I are parents. I know it must have been hard for him to leave you, especially as he took you out there in the first place, in a way. But you can kind of understand. You can kind of understand why it was better for at least one of you to go back, right?
Yeah, because he was saying that it doesn't make no. Because at the time, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was kind of hurt, and I was arguing, I was upset with him. And then he said to me, "Son, you got to think of it logically. If I stay, then we still got to find money to put me in a hotel, and then we've got to find money to put you in this place. So it doesn't make no sense, and I won't be able to see you anyway." Yeah. So then basically after that, now they put me in an ambulance. They brought me to this hotel, which was ridiculous.
How long ago did your dad fly back?
Well, it's coming up to nearly a month now.
That's what I was thinking. So basically, your dad spent 2 months over there, stuck over there. He's gone back. You've now spent an extra month on your own over there.
Yeah, well, next week it'll be a month. But then it's been, I mean, family and friends have been helping me because obviously I've got no money. So they've been sending, I thank everyone what has been helping me because they've been sending money, to try and help me to stay myself because obviously I still have to pay for staying in a hotel. I still have to eat. I still have to do all these things and I've had no help from the English government.
Can you give me in 1 minute where we are in terms of you coming back?
Well, I tested positive twice. So I'm still here. I've got to wait to take another test. And
when is that test due? When are you taking that new test?
The test tomorrow. And depending on what that says is depending on when I leave and when I don't leave. That's the situation basically.
Now I know we've your cousin who I'm gonna show a video of what she's done for you. Your cousin Camilla has been really helpful to you. She's set up a GoFundMe page. To help you raise some funds to survive out there. When I looked at it the other day, a few days ago, it was at £70. I looked again yesterday, it was at £200. Part of the reason we are doing this, Remel, is so that the people can understand what you've been through. I mean, we're time restricted. If we weren't time restricted, there's so much more you've gone through, Remel. If we sat, we'll be here 2 hours talking about it. You and I both know that. But due to time restrictions and to get the message out there, we have to kind of curtail the story and bring it to the people in a packaged way. But the GoFundMe page, your cousin's gonna tell the audience once you and I finish talking of the address. What message do you have for anyone who sees the GoFundMe page? From yourself, I mean, what would you like? What message you want to do? People have already contributed, obviously, so I'm sure you're happy to say thank you to those people. But for those who might want to contribute when they see that, is there any message you have for them?
I don't even know what to say, basically, because I've got so much mixed emotions, to be honest with you. It's just that I just thank everyone for their help and support, basically, to be honest with you, because without their help and support, I don't know where I would be. And that's the honest truth. I don't know where I would be and what I would be doing, because as I said, I was only supposed to be here for 3 weeks and it's come up to 3 months. So without the support of the people and stuff.
So your last positive test was the positive. We have to put in speech quotes because there's another dodginess to that if we get into, we're going to be another 10 minutes. Sorry, tomorrow's the test. And then you get the result in 3 days' time, yeah?
Yeah.
Just so the guys understand, when you take the test tomorrow, Monday, then you have to wait till Wednesday for the results, yeah?
Between Wednesday and Tuesday,
Okay. So when is the earliest time? If it comes back negative, let's fingers crossed, when's the earliest time you can fly out? I will fly
out on Wednesday. My flight's already been booked, and that's the thing is, every time
for this coming Wednesday.
Yes, that's right.
If the test comes back on Tuesday or Wednesday, then you'll be able to catch that Wednesday flight.
Yes, but the problem is that every time we change it, we have to pay money again to change it.
Let me just say this. I want to appeal to everyone who listens to this. I just want to urge my audience, whether it's a £2 contribution or a £5 contribution, whatever you can do. This young man and his father and his partner here in the UK and their children have been through a massive lot. And what you've heard today is just literally about 10% of what you've been through. We haven't shown them pictures of the hotel room, Remel. I'm sorry that this is the most that I can do. However, as I have this platform and this avenue and social media access, I thought if I can help to put the GoFundMe project out there, if it raises an additional £20 or raises an additional £35 or whatever it raises, it's something towards helping you in this situation. I really pray, Remel, that you're on that plane on Wednesday, man. What time's the flight Wednesday, and what time would you be arriving back? If you caught it?
The flight is at 10 at night. The flight's at 10 p.m. But then I would arrive back. I'll stop off at Brussels and I arrive back in England at 9 something.
When you get back, we'll sit down and we'll do another video where we can have more of a chat about the whole thing. This really is just to appeal to the people to come to assistance in getting you out of there, man. Is there anything you want to say before we sign out?
I just want to thank everyone who's watching. Thank everyone for understanding and just showing support and love, and just, you know, I just keep my fingers crossed that I'm back home soon, you know.
We too, man. Everyone, I'm sure everyone's keeping their fingers crossed. Remel, listen, it's been great catching up. I'm sure we'll talk over a WhatsApp by tomorrow or the day after. Let me know about the test, how that comes back, and I will take you from there again, yeah?
Yeah, okay then, my brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're a soldier, as far as I'm concerned, and your people should be proud of you, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah? You take care, you look after yourself, and we'll speak soon, yeah?
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Okay then.
You take care. See you soon. All the best. Guys, now take a look at a video put together by Camilla, who's Remel, Lloyd's cousin. Please, guys, listen to the directions for the GoFundMe page. She's the one who's responsible for setting it up. Bless her. We need all of your support, guys. And please just donate what you can. Doesn't matter if it's £1.50 or £2.50 or £12.50. We will accept any assistance for this family. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for supporting us. Please remember to hit subscribe once you finish watching this video. Take care and all the best. Bye bye now.
Hi there, guys. Hope you're well. My name is Camilla. My relation to Remel is, I consider him family to me. So another brother from another mother. I'm the person who set up the GoFundMe account on his behalf, because as you can imagine, it's extremely traumatic and extremely stressful, and can put a person in a lot of hardship being stranded abroad in another country. The target for the GoFundMe is £500. However, if we are able to raise more and above, that'll be amazing and great. And we will be extremely grateful for that. We have so far raised just above £200. So yeah, we appreciate, or he appreciates, all the donations made, and I would just like to say thank you for everyone, you know, who knows me personally, and thank you for the help so far. He appreciates it, and we all appreciate it, because at the end of the day, the aim and objective for this is so Remel comes home back to the UK safely. So if you go on GoFundMe, the name of our GoFundMe is helping a friend in a major accident and emergency, and on the show it should be listed in the link down below. Okay, so as I said, my name is Camilla. I'm the one who set up the GoFundMe. Thank you for listening and watching this video, and let's hope that Remel comes home safely.